After did a 58, this is a video response to Ollie Martin, and this is best, worst, and most played games on a system. So I'm going to pick the PSP, and yep, that's my own PSP. Got PSP Go camera on it, that came with Invisimals, and yeah, it's a bit, well, not exactly the cleanest thing in the world, but it's definitely well used. Anyway, first game. It's a tie in this one. Guilty Gear Judgment! At least 1% of the world will actually understand that joke. Yeah, and this is actually a beat 'em up game. It's a beat 'em up game based off the Guilty Gear series, but you also get the regular Guilty Gear X2 reload on the game. Though it's actually missing story mode and mission mode, you don't have to unlock Cliff and Justice and like Nightmare to unlock. Anyway, good beat 'em up game. Actually, not that many beat 'em ups for the PSP, so you don't have this one, you might have no choice. But it's a complete pain to beat the final boss. It's really hard. But yep, good game, worth it if you're in them kind of games. You need a decent fighting game with it as well. But the first game I ever beat on the system was Gradius Galaxy. You know what I just said then? Gradius Collection. Now this is actually a collection of games. It's actually the arcade versions of Gradius 1, 2, 3, or was that Gradius? I don't know. 2, 3 and Gaiden, which are actually only a PS1 game, never left Japan. Really good collection, and this technically is the very first game on the PSP ever completed. Because I just put the original Gradius in, and I'm not joking, I actually beat the game in one credit on the first turn. Never played it. I never played the arcade version properly before either. I mostly played the version on the NES on all the, you know, bootleg pirate multi-game machine thingies that you used to find all over the place. I actually still do find them in some places. I just saw them in Florida, crazily enough. They always had Gradius playing as a demo game when they were showing them off as well, for some reason. Anyway, next game. Right, so the best series. Yu-Gi-Oh! Tag Force. Yeah, I know this isn't. Yeah, I got this in the UK. This copy, even though it's an American one, because it got released there first. Yep. Card game over 2,400 cards. Sounds like a lot, but you'll see it's not. Anyway, this is the series I played the most on the PSP by far. And then we got the sequel, which adds more characters, more story, and some better ideas in it. But then we get to the best one in the series, in my opinion. Tag Force 3. Now, what's the better at this one than the previous one? They got rid of all of the stupid crap from the other one. I mean, the original two, they had this frankly stupid mechanic where you had to go, where when you won a game, card match, obviously because the main name of the game is a card game, you could either spend the money on cards or on this random slot machine that had gifts to give people. You had to give people these gifts to progress through the story, but some of them, everyone liked different gifts and it could make the bars go up and down depending on what you give them. It was very annoying, and it made the game incredibly time consuming because you just play most of your matches just to get gifts to progress through the story and not unlock actual cards, which is kind of stupid in a card game. So yeah, see, it was 3,500, so yeah, they did improve. So there's other bits about this game. I mean, so how did they make this game the best one then? They got rid of all that. You basically start the game and you can pick the character you want. While you can still buy the gifts thing, it's optional. It's not needed anymore. You can just walk around, just fight any person in the game, and the more powerful, better rank they are, the higher it gets your happiness bar up. So you can basically fight one powerful opponent, progress through the story, get to the next story event, and just do it that way. You still get money for it as well. And not waste money on stupid, worthless junk that isn't cards. And because of this, I actually beat this game like about 30 plus times. Because there's a lot of characters in this series, and this one has, well, one character has 4 different endings. bizarrely enough, it's not the main character. Who's that guy? Jaden only has 2. Yeah, the side character is more ended as the main character. I don't know what that's about, but weird. Yeah, lots of endings in this game. Unfortunately, a lot of the characters share the same ending. I mean, they have the same exact same story, the exact same opponents, but a lot of endings. And yeah, look, even the box is flashy. I mean, look, and there's U-Bell. Now this one was never actually sold in America. The rest of them was, but this one for some reason Konami decided, oh no, we're not going to sell this one in America. I think it's because it was based off Yu-Gi-Oh! GX and 5Ds had just come out at the time, and that's stupid. Also, you probably can't see it, but you see the card promos that it shows there? Well, they actually botched up with them. All copies of this game actually included the card promos you was meant to get with the second game. So I had to took a photograph of a receipt and proof I had this game, so they could mail order me through the post the actual cards that come with it, which is pretty useless really. So yeah. Anyway, there was the little ones, and then we get to Tag 5D's Tag Force 4, and guess what? They've completely screwed the game over. Sure, there's more cards in the game, and they've slightly altered the mechanics, but guess what? Why is this annoying? They put the stupid gift system back in, and they made it even worse in this part of the series. Not only now we had the gift version of it, no, then you had to find a person around the map, which you'd actually pay money to find them. Then you could do that and then go, oh sorry, I don't want to speak to you today, and you want better speak to them and continue the story with them. I mean, yeah, what a stupid mechanic. And guess what? It was not fixed in a sequel either. I don't understand why they left this thing in there when they had it perfected in the third game. That's why the third game was the best. Stupid. I don't know why, but yeah, that was the final one they actually released in outside Japan of this series. There is a Tag Force 6, and there's a Tag Force 7 being made, which strangely enough isn't out yet, and it's still only on PSP. Of course, we'll probably never get either of them ones. So anyway, so now on to worst games. Now we've got runners up here first. Ugh, this thing. Monster Hunter Freedom. I think I paid what, £13 for this new, and this game is so boring. I mean, look at the cover. I mean, you've got the big guy riding a dragon. You think, yeah, this game's gonna be awesome. I mean, then you play it, and ugh. So why does it suck? The tutorials just go on and on and on. Seriously, I didn't even have any armor by the tutorials in this game, and I didn't even have any proper armor on either. So basically, running around in my underwear, beating up dinosaurs. But there's such poorly thought out mechanics in this game. It's amazing this game series is successful with some of the junk and everything. One of the missions you have to fish for something. Okay, that's fine. So you think for being a training mission, you think they give you unlimited bait, but no, they only give you so much, and you're not guaranteed to catch the fish with that amount of bait they get. So you've got to reset the mission a few times just to do a training mission, and I didn't even off the training missions. Literally, I was like 10 hours in and still in the training mission. I eventually got to a level where you had to steal an egg from a kind of dragony thing like that. But here's the thing, once I got back to the camp, the game didn't tell you what to do with the egg. So what did I do? I tried putting it in a basket. You can't attack with the egg because it instantly broke. Then you have to go back and pick it up again. And of course the dragon catches you, you're basically screwed and you're dead straight off. So yeah, I took it to the item containment, it just broke and I just gave up on the thing. Stupid designed game. I know some people don't like the game, but whoever designed this game to me is a complete idiot. But anyway, right, so a game I don't actually have a picture of, so you'll have to go my word for this one. Atari Evolution. Now, I never had this game very long. I actually bought it used from a game shop, and it was never released in Europe. It's only a US PSP game, and it was a bunch of old Atari arcade games remade with some graphics updates, like basically a graphic update on the original included. But they didn't really improve the gameplay of the games for the updated versions at all. They're exactly the same as the classic versions. They're just reskinned pretty much. So they've got the same difficulty and everything. No new power-ups, no nothing original. Nothing like that. Also, the unlock requirements to unlock the entire 2600 games in the game was completely insane. It's like, you have no chance of getting some of these unlocks at all. So I used a cheat file to unlock them, because it's an American save game, you can use American save file, and guess what? The emulation on the ports is absolutely horrendous. I mean, it's so bad that it has sprite flicker on the sprite of the character in the game Adventure. You know, who's a square. This is how shockingly bad the emulation of this. I mean, how do you have sprite flicker in an Atari game? It doesn't seem that difficult, really, does it? So yeah, really, really bad. Worst collection of games you can get on the PSP. I would not recommend it for anyone. They did actually re-release parts of it, the actual remade games, on 360s, early Xbox Live Arcade games. Here's the thing, they actually play better in Xbox Live Arcade, and the arcade versions are arcade accurate, unlike the PSP version of the same game. Yeah, it's pretty weird, but it's true. They're about, I think, like about £3 each or something. Also, they have ridiculous achievements for a mode called Throttle Monkey, which is essentially, let's play a classic arcade game in 3 times the speed it's meant to be. So I don't have the game anymore after all this. Well, it was temperamental, so I took it back. I got a refund. I'm glad it was temperamental, because that was shocking, that game. I can't believe they even sold it. And amusing enough, the next game's related kind of to a refund as well. And now we're going to the worst games I own for this thing, and I've actually got a trilogy of games here. I mean, I'm casting them as a trilogy because they're all sort of related to each other. Right, so here we go. Bubble Bobble Evolution. So yeah, you thought, well, Bubble Bobble's a good game. Why is this doing on here? I mean, you could say, yeah, there's always weird alterations in this version. It's like, yeah, Bub and Bob in this are actually kids dressed up as dinosaurs with trumpets that blow bubbles. Not dragons, which is slightly odd in itself. But yeah, this one, what can I say? Well, I originally had Digimon Rumble Arena 2 from a shop used. It was a game station actually, tell by the sticker. Unfortunately, the used copy didn't work. And Digimon Rumble Arena 2 is not the most commonest game in the world, so I had to replace it and get this instead. It doesn't have 2 copies. I don't know if you can see the screenshots, but the screenshots of this game and the graphics aren't too bad, but here's where the big problems begin, why this game is complete crap. You think, well, it's Bubble Bobble. Yeah, there's lots of the things like the classic Bubble Bobble, that's like shooting, jumping, all that. But then you play the game and realise it's like this weird 2-player hybrid thing. I mean, you have to complete the stages as Bub first. As you can see, the game's instruction manual shows them. Also, another, yeah, you're in a tower in this one for some reason. So yeah, you're playing as Bub, and you're just running around this tower, just blowing bubbles, popping in, like you're doing a classic Bubble Bobble. But instead of having one screen at once, it's like 3 screens at once, linked to each other, like it's in a spinning, rotating tower. But you have to push these bubbles around to unlock keys and stuff to get further in the game. And this is a complete pain to do. There's no like grab button, you have to blow bubbles and push them along that way. In other words, it's a bit like the original Bubble Bobble with bouncing on bubbles was sometimes for a pain. Well, here they've tried to make an entire mechanic out of the thing, and it completely fails. Doesn't work at all. And then when you actually get to a boss, it's unclear, not because they're in 3D, if you're hurting a boss as well. Then guess what happens? You got to do the level all over again as Bob. Yeah, they've got essentially the levels split up into 2, but you have to fight the boss again as well. But also I think it's because you meant to have 2 copies of the game and play it 2 players, so you can both do it at once. What a stupid mechanic! And here's the real kicker of this game. You think, oh, after all, that is an auto-save feature. You think that'd be fair? Well, no, it's not. Because it doesn't give you any lives back when you autosave. So basically, you get to the second world, you've got 1 life left. You've got the entire game to beat in a single life. And the loading times in this game, despite how simple the graphics are, absolutely horrendous. It literally takes over 2 minutes loading a stage up. Amazing. Yeah. Anyway, so the next one in this series is Rainbow Islands Evolution. Yeah, this is an evolved version of Rainbow Islands. You see, look how rubbish the screenshots are. I mean, yeah, they're microscopic. So what's wrong with this one then? It's not as bad as the Blue Bob one, you know, but it's confusing. Like, everyone knows what Rainbow Islands is, probably. And if you don't, you're a little kid. Well, kid out of Blue Bubble. Shooting rainbows, and you have to climb up them. Well, this one has it on multi-3 layers, so there's a foreground one. There's like 3 layers that you can jump between, and you can see all layers at once. This makes the game very confusing. Incredibly confusing. Also, you don't even look like the characters. I mean, what happened to them? I mean, yeah, more like Mexicans playing a, I don't know, now. They look like that in any other version of this game. Also, that instruction manual, you probably can't read it, actually says this is the sequel to Rainbow Islands. So why is it called Rainbow Islands Evolution? Yeah, I don't understand that logic. Right, sorry about that, the dog was being a pain in the bum. Right. So, yeah. What else is wrong with this game? It's confusing, because it's on 3 layers, and the bosses have devolved as well. They're not like spiders and tanks and stuff. Now they're just people playing musical instruments. It's just a bizarre remake. I don't get why they made it like they did. I mean, they could have just made it straightforward, but no. They made it some confusing mess, and it isn't that fun to play because of it. And now going into the actual real worst one. Space Invaders Evolution. I mean, looking at that cover you think, yeah, that's a thing on the arcade cabinet. You know, that thing that's not actually in any Space Invaders game. So what's wrong with this game? Well, I can actually tell you what's wrong with this game. It's yes, hello. Yes, a ball, go away. Dog wants ball, right, ignore it. But yeah, yes, this game. So what's wrong with this one? A lot, actually. Well, one, it's not Space Invaders. I mean, so yeah, it's got Space Invaders in the name, but you saw the gameplay of this game. You said that doesn't look anything like Space Invaders. Yes, you've got a spaceship, you've got rows, but that's about as much as in common this game has with Space Invaders. So what you do is you're a spaceship on this one, and you rotate around like a planet shapes, which are some really bizarre, wonky shapes. You're shooting anything that moves, so that's just like classic Space Invaders then. Here's the thing, you could do this forever. Space Invaders never die. They just keep coming and coming and coming. They never even drop down the screen in this version, so you can't get killed by them touching the bottom of the screen. So, yeah. So the main age beats one, you have to shoot UFO at the top of the screen a few times to clear the stage. So, yeah, you shoot UFO at the top of the screen. Don't just give you power-ups like it does some others. No, that's how you beat the game. But it thinks it's a music game at the same time as this. You have to shoot it to like a beat UFO to the beat of the music when it flies past. So you have to wait for like 1 or 2 seconds to shoot it. Otherwise it doesn't do any damage to it. So why is this a Space Invaders game? I mean, it's not Space Invaders. Also pretty much look at the back of the box. The screenshots I show are actually all complete utter lies. They're just parts of the CGI cutscene. Yeah, the game's so crappy, they knew it was that bad, they didn't even show screenshots of the game on the back of the box. Actually, that's what actually the Space Invaders in the game look like. Do they look like Space Invaders? They're just generic robots. And they're like this through the entire game, they never change, there's no bosses or anything like that. There's one actual thing I can say is good about this. It does include the original arcade game on it. And a very odd mode. Actually, this is an instruction book so you can see what it is. Where is it? They actually talk about these for the proper mode. See, look, it's got original Space Invaders on it. In this mode, it's called match-up mode. This is probably the only good thing in this game. It's odd, but it's probably hard to tell what it is by my crappy camera, but it's Space Invaders, but it's like two people share both sides of a PSP, and you have to shoot as many invaders as possible and they get sent to the other person's side. until whoever wins. It's a bit like one of those puzzle games like Bubble Bobble but with Space Invaders. It's actually quite a neat idea. It's a shame that that's the bonus game and there isn't the actual game itself is complete utter crap. Yeah, I mean, look, charge shot, beam shot. This game's just, yeah, you do not want this game at all. Also, I've noticed something's got the developers' logos. It's PSP. I mean, what's that about? Where's Rising Star Games a logo? This is definitely the worst Space Invaders game ever made, in my opinion. I mean, it's not Space Invaders. I mean, you know it's bad when the company hides the fact that even though what it is on the cover. I actually do remember when I got this game, I actually got N Plus at the same time. N Plus is a much better game than this. This game's so crappy, a class it's got free and spent £10 at N Plus. The thing that makes me real sad about this game is Screw Attack did a worse reboot series years ago, and they did not put this in the chart. They put Space Invaders Invasion Day in the chart and on a Space Raiders, saying it's crap, it don't play like Space Invaders. Well, that game has different mechanics of Space Invaders. I've actually done a playthrough of it on my channel. I'll link to it in this video. It's an okay game if you think it's like an arcade game like Cabal or Blood Brothers. It's more like that than Space Invaders, but it's still got themes of Space Invaders in it. This has nothing. Though this was the same list that for Sonic 06, you know, that game was broken and unfinished, was actually a better game than that Space Invaders game. So Screw Attack, I've no clue what they're on about ever. So yeah, that's my best, favourite and worst PSP games. Thank you for watching.